Federal Executive Council OK's proposed 19.76 trillion naira 2023 budget. Debt Management Office DMO offers 2 federal government savings bonds for subscription. OPEC Plus formally agrees to cut oil production by 2 million barrels per day. Plus Asia Pacific markets trade mixed after U.S. stocks slip. This is Business Express on a network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, and we are reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Leah Kuting Babatunde. You're welcome. All is now set for the presentation of the 2023 budget proposal before a joint session of the National Assembly this Friday. This followed the approval of the draft appropriations bill by the Federal Executive Council.
You have the revised 2023-2025 fiscal framework. You have aggregate expenditure, overhead costs, personnel costs, capital expenditure, and so on and so forth. So all those things have been discussed, and where they needed to tweak some of the projections, that has been done.
And of course, the Nigerian Television Authority will be bringing that session to you live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So you can catch up with us on our various platforms. Moving on, the Senate has considered the 2023 to 2025 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, which pegged daily crude oil production at 1.69 million barrels per day for 2023 at $73 per barrel. These, of course, follow the presentation of the report of Senate Committee on Finance, which also recommended the approval of 433.57 kobo as the official exchange rate. Projected growth rate was pegged at 3.75%, 17.16% as projected inflation rate, with new borrowings plans of 8.437 trillion naira.
Subsidy cost, including the daily consumption volume.
If you cut it from 3.6 to 1.7, right, and it's for the entire year, you could reach a point at which you could have maybe a supplementary budget or whatever it is.
The petroleum subsidy. This is not realistic, Mr. President.
And while that conversation is ongoing in the public space, Nigeria is now among countries deploying 5G network in its telecom space. But not much is known on the benefits of this network. The telecom regulator, NCC, is therefore sensitizing small and medium business owners in how they can take advantage of the 5G network to grow their businesses.
What the consumer is supposed to do first is to complain to their service provider. And when they fail to resolve that issue, you can use the 622, you can write to us. You can use any of our social media platforms. We don't have much of
5G devices because 5G network just been launched. When the 5G infrastructure and services are available, SMEs, just like even individuals, will be able to afford 5G technology services.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has restated the dire need for African countries to close ranks and put in place an aviation sector that will eliminate difficulties air passengers go through on account of poor airline connectivity on the continent. The minister restated these at the ongoing 65th United Nations World Tourism Organization Commission for Africa meeting in Arusha, Tanzania.
Excellencies, for Africa to take maximum advantage of tourism as the fastest growing market in the world, with all its attendant benefits like job creation, etc. African countries will need to collectively and individually address the challenges relating to poor connectivity, unfavorable visa regimes, insecurity, high cost of air transport, low quality of tourism support services, including hotels and other professional skills.
Next is our Surviving COVID-19 series.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
There are no customer during coronavirus. Before the corona, I can get a 30 customer or 50 customer, etc., etc. And then during the coronavirus, there are no customer. After coronavirus, we can take a long time without the customer. Even the transport, the many drivers is come and buy public. There are no transport to go into somewhere because of the lockdown. Even the another our customer will coming for like Niger or Ghana and other countries like where they are coming here when they come to Nigeria and buy something. So they are locked down that period. There are nobody coming into Nigeria. When the customers come after coronavirus, they will say the material where they were selling for 20,000 and before coronavirus say is 23,000. In that period, there are no money for the customers. That is the problem. How can I call it? Survival form. Where the possible they bring the help the businessman. Okay, I fly, but I never get it. If I get it, I can buy the many fabric. Somebody, sometimes the customers come and ask why this kind of material like this one. Because I don't have money. How can I go off to buy? Maybe I get, but if I get that money, I can buy a many fabric where the customers like. Such me or many Nigerian economists because of in my family 5,000 in a day, but why go to 2,500 or 2,000? That is it teach me economics. When I get the 10,000 now, I don't want to go to just to buy something. I will keep 8,000 and spend 2,000 because of I don't want to forget that situation in COVID-19.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
A more robust economy can be achieved with accurate data, but challenges hamper how data is presented to the public. In a bid to address the shortcomings in presenting data to the public, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) is increasing capacity for statistical reporting among members of the media and civil society groups, with the aim of avoiding mistakes in statistical reporting. The retreat focused on critical appraisal of statistical reporting and data interpretation, and the NBS is also looking the way of digitization in statistical system reporting and compilation of trade statistics.
We did population demography that is those in between 18 to 50 years, being the most politically and economically active, numerically significant. It becomes very more important that veracity and authenticity of the reportage is not in doubt at all.
Statistics is used by both private and public sectors and individuals in decision making. For a credible decision, the information disseminated to the members of the public in form of data should be accurate.
The Debt Management Office DMO has announced the offering of 2 federal government of Nigeria savings bonds for subscription. The first offer is a 2-year FGN savings bond which will be due October 12, 2024 at 11.38%. The second one is a 3-year FGN savings bond which will be due on October 12, 2025 at 12.38%. According to the DMO, the opening date for the bond subscription is October 4, 2022, while the closing and settlement dates are October 7 and 12. The offer, which was posted on the DMO Twitter handle, said the coupon payment dates are January 12, April 12, July 12 and October 12. The bonds are offered at 1,000 naira per unit subject to a minimum subscription of 5,000 naira only and in multiples of 1,000 naira thereafter, subject to a minimum subscription of 50 million naira. Now we move to the currency market and to find out how much the naira is exchanging for other currencies. The House of Representatives ad hoc committee wants Chevron to answer some fundamental questions on the gas to liquid project it executed in Nigeria. The committee is asking Chevron to justify why the cost for execution of similar projects in Qatar was $2 billion, but for Nigeria the project got $10 billion.
The House Ad Hoc Committee is investigating joint venture operations and production sharing contracts of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited. The gas-to-liquid project was signed in 2005 between Nigeria and Chevron at the cost of $2.9 billion to stop gas flaring and protect the oil produced upstream. The team from Chevron told the committee that the escalation in cost was as a result of commodity crisis experienced in the course of executing the contract.
Some contractors did the same thing in Qatar for just about 2 billion. The same capacity, same everything. We all knew with NNPC this was very complex technology to be executed in this part of the world. And so, when project construction started, in 2005, coincidentally, if you check the records, at that same time, commodity prices, including that of oil, steel, and what have you, started rising in the international market.
The committee, while cross-examining officials of the company, discovered that Chevron has not obtained some statutory certification from the Ministry of Trade and Investment. The chief executive of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, also made submissions before the committee as he cleared the air in relation to financial accounts of the NNPC.
There's no account that the NNPC operates that is not known to government and that is not known to the Accountant General of the Federation. We do operate our accounts. We always submit list of all accounts we operate. We make sure that we have appropriate approvals at all times to establish any account for this company.
As the committee continues the investigative hearing, it stresses that it will only entertain heads of agencies and organizations. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali.
Oil prices are kept to a 3-week high on Thursday, but appeared to have paused a recent rally as markets awaited more clarity on how the OPEC Plus intends to carry out a massive supply cut, as well as a U.S. response to the move. Brent oil futures fell 0.2% to $93.59 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 0.2% to $87.95 a barrel. Both contracts rallied about 2% on Wednesday and are up sharply this week. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies OPEC Plus said on Wednesday it will cut supply by 2 million barrels per day in order to counter recent weakness in crude prices, defying pressure from the United States to increase supply. And the issuance of licenses to operators of modular refineries by the federal government in 2015 has started yielding positive results in addressing the fuel supply gap in Nigeria and will also stop the activities of crude oil bunkering. Dr. Godbless Erwani, owner of one of the modular refineries, stated this in Abuja while commending President Buhari for opening up the space for all to participate.
With the President Buhari 2015 modular refinery regime, when that was launched, it opened up a space for Nigerians to participate in the refined product. At the initial onset in 2015, when this license was granted with just 6 of us, my commitment was I wasn't going to sit down with a license, I was going to bring to fruition this license.
Let's now take a trip to the global commodities market. In a bid to promote made in Nigeria goods and protect the economy from the damaging effects of fake and substandard goods, and of course, in addition, rescue people who fall victims to counterfeit products. A group of global ambassadors have embarked on a campaign to create awareness in line with Goal 12 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs.
Presence of fake, falsified, and substandard goods have been identified as the greatest threat to human lives. The industry does not just damage the economy by reducing sales tax from genuine businesses, it also destroys millions of our people through what? Fake beverages and fake drugs.
Armed with goal number 12 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which seeks to ensure responsible production for safe public consumption, this group of brand ambassadors are visiting poultry farms in Abuja to ensure that birds are organically raised and safe for public consumption.
It's creating this kind of awareness and trying to directly support government stop the menace of this fake goods industry or counterfeit industry will on its own boost the economy.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, says it is taking seriously the business of revenue generation, and to this end, the service has gone public with a service charter that promises effective service delivery to its customers, the taxpayers. This was part of activities marking the Global Customer Service Week in Abuja.
Every customer has needs to be met, and the service provider is expected to deliver value for money while treating the customer as the king that he or she is. Hence the establishment of a charter. The charter is a document that communicates and expresses commitment for quality service delivery, and the champion of customer service, Mohammed Nami, says Whatever the FIRS customer enjoys today, it is just the beginning, as the FIRS is committed to implementing its details for better service delivery. He appeals to Nigerians to continue to fulfill their obligations by paying their taxes.
Nigerians are expected to understand that globally citizens pay for their own civilization. As most infrastructures, privileges in advanced countries were made possible by the revenue generated through the taxes citizens in those globally developed countries pay to the government. Above all, we appeal to government at all levels to also give taxpayers value for the money they pay as taxes.
For the country's #1 customer care officer, the FIRS is doing well, but the taxpayer has the obligation to make the FIRS do better.
Right from your office to all other executive management staff, you're committed to ensuring that you make Nigerians get value for money.
The FIRS hopes to meet and surpass a target of 10.4 trillion naira as collectible revenue at the end of the year. In Abuja, Benny Adam.
Yes, a value for money, and of course, in an effort to complement government reforms around fiscal transparency, the federal government, in collaboration with a Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity Watch, have inaugurated Transparency and Integrity Index Assessment 2022.
Set up measures to strengthen areas of weakness in reporting and external audit security in public financial management through the introduction of open treasury portal for full disclosure of federal government payments.
It is also hoped that citizens will take advantage of this portal and data provided thereon to demand for transparency and accountability from their elected leaders and the public sector in general.
And of course, the capital market is open this morning, but then it's been a red week. October has not been so favorable as profit taking continues to characterize the Nigerian stock market as investors' sentiment sort of wanes. But then what is the global market looking like? Let us find out.
European stocks climbed this Thursday as global markets attempt to recover from recent volatility. The positive start in Europe comes after regional markets closed lower on Wednesday as the positive trend seen in global stocks in recent days faded. The DAX rose 0.54%, the CAC gained 0.26%, and UK's FTSE was down 0.19%. Stocks in the Asia-Pacific were mixed after Wall Street's two-day rally fizzled and OPEC Plus agreed to cut 2 million barrels per day to shore up prices. Japan's Nikkei 225 gained 0.7% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index gained 0.42%, while Chinese markets are closed for a holiday this week. U.S. stock futures were higher Thursday morning after falling in the regular trading session and breaking a massive two-day rally. Dow Jones Industrial Average futures rose by 0.06%, while S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 futures climbed 0.06% and 0.08%, respectively.
Thank you. That was brought to us by Neka Oko. Thank you, Neka, there. And just to inform you that we had hoped to move to one of the dry ports, but of course connectivity problems didn't allow us to get to our desired destination. But we promised you that that conversation is going to hold very, very soon. Don't forget, NTA will be bringing to you live the 2023 budget presentation at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. This is where we end this episode of the program. Don't forget, you can access all previous ones on YouTube on the NTA's channel. You can also communicate with us via our various social media platforms. We value your feedback, so keep them coming. Business Express returns Friday by 3 p.m. I am Leah Katung Babatunde saying, have a wonderful business day out there and God bless Nigeria.